Hello everybody and welcome back to Stealwing33 Plays Dark Souls 3. I'm Stealwing33 and today, first we're gonna get fucking revenge on this stupid jerk over here who killed me in the last episode. But between episodes here, I have upgraded our weapons and leveled up a little bit. I got ourselves a little bit more HP, as you can see in the upper left corner there. In addition to that, I have upgraded our weapons to level 2, so that's pretty nice. In Dark Souls 3, they changed the way that upgrading works. You no longer require, once you infuse a weapon, you no longer have to find more of that, infusion type. I don't need fire gems to upgrade my fire sword, right? I just need regular-ass Titanite, which is very easy to come by in this game. It's not as easy as, in Dark Souls 2. I think that it was a lot easier in Dark Souls 2 than it was in Dark Souls 3. Ow. That hurt a little bit. Not actually a lot. We're actually taking a pretty decent, little bits of damage here. I also upgraded our Estus flasks. As you can see, I have 6 Estus now instead of... this is gonna hurt. I now have 6 Estus instead of 3, which should make a lot of these areas, particularly Hodrick here, who's a son of a bitch, should make them a lot easier. That sucks. I gotta remember that move has, a lot of lead time on it. Oh, come on. Hit Hodrick, you bastard. There you go. Hodrick's kind of a pain in the dick, truth be told. Kind of hate him. Kind of the worst guy in history. And I'm really mad that he exists. But that's fine. Oh, come on. You don't get to Estus, you piece of shit. Don't be a dick. Just hammer him while he Estises, I guess, and we'll just keep trying to get him stuck in this, chain of, trying to Estus back his HP. A lot of the NPC guys will try to Estus or heal themselves, and you can really abuse that, or they'll do stuff like that where they'll spellcast, and you can abuse those animations because they take a very, very long time. But with Hodrick defeated, son of a bitch, we have gotten a Vertebra Shackle, which is something that you use for the Mound Maker's Covenant, which is an invasion covenant. And then you murder people. Mound Makers... Yeah, so this thing does heal you, which is interesting. You can kind of see, I think this is the Warmth spell, which is the, it's the ultimate spell from the Mound Maker's Covenant. It's kind of stupid that it can heal enemy players, I guess, would be the best way to put that. You know, I'm not, a player, but I'm not, not a player, I guess. I'm just me. But, it's kind of dumb that it can heal bad guys. You would never be able to really use that then. Alright, cool. Big things to remember if you're playing the kind of build that I'm playing right now is that a lot of enemies can be stun-locked if you just keep being aggressive with them. Sometimes they can't, as you saw right there. That guy muscled through that last set of attacks, but there's always a section of your attack pattern that causes hit stun. Okay, so normally I should have gone the other way. Damn it. Yeah, okay, because now Giant Man with the spears is going to be throwing spears over here. So you can get Giant Man in the tower over there. You can kind of see him if you look at the tower over there. You can see there's a person standing up there. You can get him to throw spears only at the enemies and not at you, which can be very helpful. In particular, if you can, for this area in particular, it's kind of helpful. But there's an area later that comes up that has a bunch of really douchey enemies in it, and if you can get him to help you during that area, which we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you how to do that, don't worry. It's all part of the strategy here. Alright, just keep rolling. There we go. Yeah, if you can get him to help you, he makes that area a lot easier, because you're a lot less likely to get destroyed by the large pack of mobs that are gonna be there. Ow, okay. I'm glad I rolled, but I need to get off of this platform or I'm very likely to end up dead because he will hit me with a spear and I will fall off and then I will die. It's also very hard to dodge his spears, as you're kind of seeing. You have to time it kind of perfectly. But we're gonna go back over here real quick and heal. Should be nice. A lot of it comes down to you just need to sprint. There's a lot of sprinting that needs to be done if you're gonna try to dodge this guy's stuff. These white branches are something that you could start the game with. and because you can pick them up, that is why they are bad. They are an item that let you hide, so you turn into like an object in the area. You can see that the thrall up there is going to attack me as soon as I pick up this item, but I'm going to let the spears kill him. And I'm going to take shelter right here for a quick hot second. I'm not used to them being able to hit me over here. Normally you can come over here and hide from the spears a little bit. We're going to have to go get more Estus before we continue going forward, because there's a boss fight coming up that we are going to do probably solo, if I had to guess. But mostly because I don't think the boss fight's like particularly difficult. It can get a little challenging. There are some mechanics in the... it's the Curse-Rotted Greatwood is the boss fight that's coming up. There are some mechanics in it that can get kind of nerve-wracking. In the first stage, there's a lot of like extra enemies scattered all over the place, and they can be a big pain in the dick if you're not careful. But once you get into the second phase is significantly easier than the first phase. A giant hand sprouts out of his chest, and I mean, you guys will see that's probably going to be the thing that we do on this episode, because I more than likely won't do it correctly the first time I do it. More than likely not going to be able to do that. But it'll be okay, because we'll eventually get it. The boss is not... It's not one of those, like, insurmountable Dark Souls challenges. There are bosses that I think, like, we're going to have to summon help on. Bosses like the Abyss Watchers, I'm definitely going to need to bring in at least a second person. I think Aldrich, Saint of the Deep, is kind of hard. Aldrich can be kind of a nightmare if you're not super careful with like how you manage like your time, and if you don't know the patterns, it can be kind of bad. That's another boss that I do think that we can handle, because our build's going to be very focused, right? So like we don't need a lot of dexterity, and anytime we end up needing extra strength or dexterity, I will get it. But in general, I'm pretty much just going to be getting HP and stamina, which is the only stat that matters. They're the only stats that you should really level up in Dark Souls, in any of them. My thought behind this is that, dexterity and strength, although they do technically increase your damage, the increase is so minuscule that it's barely worth talking about as, like, a stat, right? So, like, in general, you pretty much want to find a weapon that you're going to use, get the strength and dexterity for it, and then just sort of deal with the fact that the weapon doesn't do, like, terrific damage, or upgrade it. Upgrading it does way, 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 way more for you than getting stats, right? So that's something important to remember. That's very different than in other RPGs. As you can see, there are tons of summon signs here, but be careful of these purple ones. These purple ones are the Mound Maker Covenant guys. The Mound Maker guys are douchebags, and if you summon them, they will attack you. And they like to hide their summon signs around like new player areas, or areas where players are getting summoned. So that way you'll summon them thinking that it's going to be a friend, and it ends up being a Mound Maker, and then the Mound Maker kicks the shit out of you while you're waiting for people to get summoned, and it's kind of a big... It's not cool. It's a kind of a cheesy tactic, but it's the kind of tactic that you're going to do. Alright, so, Curse-Rotted Greatwood. There's no fanfare for this boss. There's no cutscene, nothing that like cues you in that the boss is starting. The boss just sort of gets up once you've entered his area. And it's very important to remember, so these guys, they spawn infinitely, okay? They never stop, and killing them is sort of a waste of time. The best thing to kind of try to do is to get the boss to do some of his like AoE attacks, and to have the boss kill them for you. Get him to try to like stand up or fall backward on top of them. And just avoid them. The Curse-Rotted Greatwood is very, very, very slow, but these guys are not. And so you can very easily just sort of dodge roll away and try to get the boss to do like his hand sweeping attacks, or his like kick, or any of the other like... He has a couple attacks that he does, like that one in particular. You can see it killed all of those guys. Well, most of them except for the red-eyed man. That guy lived, but I mean, that's because he's stronger than the rest, I think. You want to hit these pustules all over his body. So there are a bunch of these, like, little growths. There's one on his hand. There are these ones on his ankles that you can hit. And then there's the big cluster in the middle of his body. And then on the second phase of the boss, there's a couple more of them that you can wail on pretty effectively. But you want to hit these clusters, because that's how you kill this boss. you can't hurt him any other way. You have to hit the pustules. Once you've destroyed 3 of them, or gotten him down to half HP, however you feel like you can do that. If you are a ranged character, you can hit these ones up on his back here. Melee characters, you have a pretty hard time doing that. It's not easy to get up at them. They're a little too high. But you can hit them like when the boss like falls down and stuff. You can really get at them. Or if you have a weapon that does like a nice strong overhead sweep, you can really make a attack at them like that. Ow! Getting crushed by him is not recommended. Luckily, we have plenty of Estus, so this acid stuff that he puts down, like this goo that comes out of his body sometimes, that stuff, if you stand in it, it does damage to your weaponry. It does a little bit of damage to you as well. I pretty much just ignore it, to be truth be told. Is that a good idea? Probably not. Is it what I'm doing? Definitely is. If you can, you want to try to avoid getting in front of him. The hand on this boss is kind of a pain in the ass. There are plenty of other things to hit on this boss besides the hand. Once you've stunned him with literally any of the pustules breaking or anything like that, you can get some free hits in on the hand. Or if the hand attacks you, you can get a couple good hits in on it and make him die. Like I said, not bad, pretty easy. You just sort of gotta be willing to do some risks. Attacking the boss in the front in either phase is dangerous. It's very difficult to like convince yourself that that's what you need to do, but that's where we stand. That boss is optional, for the record. You do not need to kill him, but killing him does give you the transposition kiln, which is an item used to upgrade or to make boss weapons out of like boss souls and stuff like that. So it's worth doing. Out of all the optional bosses, that one's the one that's worth doing. The other ones just sort of lead to bonus areas, or they allow you to unlock like particular abilities. Characters like there's Oseros, the dragon king or whatever that guy's name is, the consumed king, I think is his name actually. Oseros is kind of he's a pain in the ass, and killing him unlocks a bonus area that does allow you to get the Embrace the Darkness ending, which we are going to be killing Oseros, and we are going to be killing the entire area that's over there. But I'm gonna keep what that area actually is a secret until we do it. I really hope the spear's not. I really hope that spear's not coming for me. That'd be nasty. All right, let's get these guys baited, and let's try to. I want to get them killed by the spear so I can avoid the complication that's going to come along with having to fight them. One of them at a time's fine. 3, 4 of them at a time is going to kill me. Ow! You're not supposed to be able to hit me over here, bud. I'm calling shenanigans. Alright, he seems to be throwing spears at the former guys, so we'll go ahead. We'll just try to let them take the brunt of this if we can. Here comes another one, I think. No? Spearman, are you done? Spearman, you piece of shit. You're supposed to be my savior. Forget what you know. Dun, 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 dun. I'm just a man whose circumstances went beyond his control. Beyond my control. Eyeball man here, the guy with the red eyes, this guy. He hits a lot harder than the other dudes, and he's also a lot tankier than the other ones. You can focus him down. The farmer dudes and the other workers, they have a tendency to sort of just stand there and do nothing for a long period of time. If you're wondering why I'm going back this way, this is the quickest route to the other bonfire that I know of, at least. We can go back up through the undead settlement and go the other route, but this is the quickest way to the other bonfire, I think. It's definitely not the easiest way there, because there is an evangelist between us and the bonfire and a couple dogs. But we can do it if you're quick and you know what to do, which you should if you're watching this. It should be pretty easy to get by this. Basically, you come down here, you jump attack this dog by doing this. Kill that dog, pick this up. It's an ember, fantastic. Ember's pretty good. You want to try to stock up as many of them as possible. If you're not very good at the game, if you're like just learning, when I say you're not very good at the game, don't take that as me saying that you are bad at the game, right? Okay, it's not that you're bad, it's that you're learning. Dark Souls has a very, very large learning curve. It's a game that demands a lot of the people playing it, And if you're not careful, it's very easy to get overwhelmed by like the stuff that's happening in the game. Okay, so don't take, when I say you're not very good at it, don't take it like as me saying you have no skills. I'm sure you've got skills. Take it more as like you just need to learn. It's a process. My brother was not good at Dark Souls 1, but he got really good at Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 3, or Dark Souls 3 rather, not Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 3 is a lot easier than the other ones, for the record. So if you're playing this one and you're like, wow, this game's not as hard as I thought it was, go back and play like Dark Souls 1 or 2. There are bosses like Brave Lord Nito and stuff that are unpleasant to play against, to say the least. Nito is one of the hardest bosses in a video game I've ever fought. I've ever had the misfortune of having to fight. And he's a requirement. He's not like... There are bosses in Dark Souls 2 that are, like, super hard that aren't a requirement. And there are bosses in Bloodborne, and there are bosses in Demon Souls that are really hard, but Nito's, like, you have to beat him to beat the game, and that's kind of hard. So if you missed what happened there, I went through the man with the giant, like a slag, a cauldron, I guess is the best way to put that. I went through the man with the slag cauldron, and I ran past all the exploding barrels and the dudes throwing fireballs at me. I'll show you when I'll go upstairs and I'll show you which way I went. So over there's the church. We came out there. We came up this staircase right here. Around that way, through that archway. Killed Slagman. You want to kill Slagman on this side of the archway, otherwise fireball guys will throw stuff at you, okay? We killed Slagman. Came around on the other side of the thing. I'm going to kill these dudes for just a second, then I'll keep explaining. Killed Slagman, ran over to where all those scraps of barrels are over there by that bridge, dropped off the bridge onto the little route that's next to the bridge, which I will show you in just a moment as soon as I kill this jackass. Dropped down onto that path down there, and then went into the archway over there. Okay? Easy peasy. Not difficult to see. And while you're up here, you can talk to this guy. He is the pyromancy trainer. If you're going into pyromancy, you need this guy because he teaches you how to do stuff like fire orb, which is way better than fireball when you start the game. He's stuck in a cage. You say, yes, I would like to learn pyromancy. Then the guy teleports out of the cage mysteriously, and you get the hand axe. Hand axe, not a bad weapon. If you do not enjoy your starting weapon and you would prefer a much bluntier, harder hitting starting weapon, I would recommend the hand axe. It can be very useful. Ow. Alright, jackass. There are a lot of items over here. I would suggest waiting to get them until after you have removed the firebomb guys, because there are normally a lot of exploding barrels over here. You want to be careful of slag barrel man, because sometimes he throws his slag barrel, and you can't dodge that. Double watch out if you're using a fire weapon. I forgot that your fire weapon can set off fire barrels, the exploding barrels, if you're not careful. So be careful of that. Like if I hit these with my sword, they'll set it off, because my sword does technically apply fire when I hit people with it. There's a couple items over here. I believe this is an ember, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it a ring? I don't remember. Nope, fire clutch ring. Fire clutch ring's pretty good. If you're a pyromancer, it makes your pyromancy stronger. Downside being that it does cause you to take extra damage from fire-based attacks when you do wear it. That can be overcome. There's an item called the Firestone. It's like the ruby stone plate ring or the red stone plate ring or something like that. If you're wearing that, it reduces the amount of damage you take from fire attacks. They do cancel each other out. You retain the bonus damage on your fire attacks, but you lose the reduction in damage resistance. We're going to go this way, so we have to go across the bridge. Okay, that's progression. But we are going to go this way real quick. Kill this doggo man. And go down into the sewer over here. And the reason for that is that this is a shortcut to the dilapidated bridge bonfire, which makes it a lot easier for us to cross into across the bridge, basically. The area down here is filled with rats. But it's a lot easier to fight rats than it is to fight a bunch of the makers and go through a bunch of, like, the workers and a bunch of the, the evangelist and all that stuff on every fucking turn. Or if you do it from the underside of the thing bonfire, you have to do a drop in order to do that. Big rat man, don't get intimidated. Big rat man is very slow. Very easy to dodge. Don't even have to dodge roll to dodge him in a lot of situations. Just sidestep. The Blood Bite Ring increases your resistance to bleed effects. You guys have probably seen me get hit by stuff and like a bar with like a red like pattern on the left side of it pops up a whole bunch. That's bleed. If that bar fills up, you take a whole heck of a lot of damage just suddenly, which can very easily lead to you dying if you are not careful about how you manage your bleed bar. There you go. So now that we've rested at the bonfire, I'm gonna go show you guys how we're gonna do two things. First, we're gonna start Sigfrid of whatever the hell, of Catalina or whatever. People on the internet call him Onion Knight. We're going to go start Onion Knight's quest by talking to him and talking to Giant Man and getting Giant Man to stop throwing spears at us. And then we're going to do the second half of Siegfried's thing because we want to get an item called the Colothary Ring. The Colothary Ring increases your stamina regeneration while it is equipped, and it is a paramount item, paramount for success in PvP. And for the build type that we are doing, the increased stamina regeneration will become bar none important as time goes on. Dogman, just sidestep. He'll jump off the bridge for you. Now, these guys will definitely throw the slag barrels at you, okay? So grab Mr. Worker Man here, and we'll kill him, and then we'll deal with the slag barrel guys. The reasoning for this is that you could try to pull one slag barrel guy at a time, but I don't think you can, actually. You want to make sure that you don't get hit by their slag barrels. They hurt too much. You can get them to run off the ledge if you are very clever, and I would highly recommend it because fighting these guys is kind of a pain in the dick. What you do is you sort of, like, position yourself in such a manner where they'll do that charge attack, and you get them to run off the ledge. You saw the first guy do it, I don't have to do it with the second guy, apparently. But you want to try to get them to do that if you can. Fighting two of these guys at once is not impossible, but I would not recommend doing it unless you have significant confidence in your skills. More confidence than I have in my skills, and you're watching me, so there you go. That bar right there, that's the bleed bar. These guys with their weird hacksaw things do apply bleed to you, and you gotta be very careful, because their attacks might not do too much damage if you're wearing heavy armor. If you're playing as, like, the Knight, or you're playing as the Herald, their attacks won't do too much damage to you, but if you're playing as, like, a lighter armor guy, you'll probably die before the bleed bar fills up if you get wailed on enough for that to happen. But if you are not, then, you know, just avoid it. Try to not let the bleed bar fill up. It does do damage through armor, and it does ignore damage resistances. So if you're wearing physical armor and you're used to taking, like, you know, I don't know, like a thumb length worth of your HP bar per hit, bleed will definitely take about half your HP bar, and the sudden shock of that is enough to sometimes rattle people, and it can lead to your imminent demise. This guy's a dick. He's protecting the lady that's trapped in there, but we can't get in there without buying a key from the shop lady at Firelink Shrine, which I probably will do between episodes. That's probably what I'll end up doing between episodes. We'll do that, and then I'll show you guys that route down there as well, and I'll show you how to get that lady. It's also a much better shortcut for coming over here to fight the guy that's down in the basement of this area. He's a little tricky if you're not careful. But this is the Onion Knight. Onion Knight is a good friend of yours, or at least he should be. He's a good guy. Yes, hello.
Oh, pardon me. I am Siegward of Katarina.
Siegward of Katarina.
To be honest, have you ever walked near a white birch only to be struck by a great arrow?
Yes, I have.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, they come from this tower.
Awesome.
Whoever it is, I'm sure I can talk some sense into them.
Okay.
But I have to find a way up this lift only...
See, okay, so that's where Sigward is wrong. See, so you run over the thing, and you don't ride that one down. You wait for the second elevator that's attached to this elevator mechanism to come down to you. Hop on that one, go up, talk to Giant Man, and then Giant Man will stop throwing spears at you forever. So there are two areas in the game that I know of where Giant Man will throw spears at you. And in both areas, not having Giant Man throw spears at you is a godsend. There's that one over by the white birch tree, which we've already passed by. You guys saw how much damage I took. If you go this way first, which you can do by crossing the bridge instead of going through the houses like we did at the beginning of the episode, at the beginning of this area rather. What up, Giant Man? Make peace. Sounds good. Thanks, bud. That's that easy. Just talk to him, and now he won't throw spears at you anymore. But you can come this way first. It is possible to do it, and you can talk to Giant Man before you talk to anyone else, and that will mean that you won't have to fight him anymore. Okay, so we drop off here. You probably were a little scared, but over here is Sigurd. Hey, Sigurd, how's it going?
Ah, oh, don't disappear like that. You had me downright worried.
All right.
Thanks to you, an epiphany has struck me square in the head.
Yes, it has.
I've unraveled the riddle of this inscrutable lift.
Okay. What'd you do? Cool.
On some...
So basically, he's going to talk to us about how he doesn't know what to do about Fire Demon Man down there. So what we're going to do is we're going to force Sigurd's hand. Basically, what's going to happen is we're going to come down here, and we're going to pick a fight with Fire Demon Man, and we're going to kick Fire Demon Man's ass, because he is not hard. I will show you a very, very solid strategy for fighting him, because you have to fight basically 3 of these things throughout the course of the game, of different designs. You have to fight this guy here. There's a boss called the Old Demon King, and there's a boss called the Fire Demon, which you have to fight later.
You should have waited.
No, Sigurd, just come here. So what you want to do, same thing we do on every big boss. Hug their belly. If you can hug them, he has a very difficult time hitting you, okay? There are several attacks that will hit you, but luckily you have Sigurd on your side here. Sigurd does kind of piss damage, but Sigurd can take a punch. That's really his use in this is to be a tank while you wail out the damage. You do more damage than Sigurd does. Don't get intimidated by the boss. His patterns are very easy. If you just watch him very carefully, you can avoid his attacks very, very, very easily. You just got to roll at the right time. It's just like fighting the other boss. It's just like fighting Ford. You just got to remember to roll at the right time or block at the right time. You can indeed block his attacks. Once he ignites himself, his weapon does do fire damage, so it will go through your shield if you are using the Night Shield or something to that effect. But that boss is easy. Sigurd makes it really easy, because that's what he does, right?
That was quite a performance, but you
Sounds
mustn't
good.
get in over your head. We unkindled must put our duties, but for the moment,
Cool. Sigbrow.
for your valor.
So not only do you get Sigbrow, Sigbrow's great, but you get the toast animation, which is pretty good. Then you talk to him, and you get the sleeping animation. And there you go. And that's all you can do with Sigurd here. But this is the area we want to be in order to get the Clarity Ring, right? So, Clarity Ring? Clarity Ring? I don't know how to pronounce that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try to throw a firebomb at this corpse up here. See if I can get him down. There you go. Grab that. Northern armor is pretty good. It's heavy. But it's the armor that the warrior starts with. It's heavy, but it does block a lot of damage. Large club is the weapon that the the naked man. Why can't I remember their name? Shit. The naked people. Not the Unsullied. It's unsomething. But those guys, they start out with the large club. It's not a bad weapon. It is a blunt weapon. It's not as good as the other weapons, and all of the club type weapons have a very weird moveset where they don't follow through the target. So when I hit somebody with my weapon like cuts through them and it keeps going onto the other side. The club weapons stop when they hit somebody, so you can hit people very, very quickly with them if you are clever enough. But the issue is that sometimes you need to be more than clever. So these 2 cage men will activate. There's one behind me, I'm aware. You gotta be very careful. Just keep your head down, keep your head cool, and just destroy them. Their cage men are not hard to fight. If you're playing as the cleric, your mace is R2. It outranges their attack range, so use that to your advantage. If you're playing as the knight, your weapon should just destroy them. The knight's sword is very, very good. What you want to do is avoid doing exactly what I just did, which is roll into them on accident or get too close. If you can avoid that, pretty much good to go. 2 dogs pop up around this corner. Hello, doggies. How you doing? Come on, dogs. Fight me. Kill them real dead. Kill them real dead. These dogs do not have anything on us in this Let's Play. These twin swords actually totally coming into their own. I'm getting used to their moveset pretty well. And I'm really enjoying it. Fun fact about chests, you can tell whether or not a chest is a mimic by how the chain is pointed. If the chain is pointed towards you, it is a mimic. If the chain is not pointed towards you, it is not a mimic. We're not going to fight all these cage men, by the way. There's too fucking many of them. There are 2 evangelists up here, which is kind of a pain in the dick, but you can try to pull them one at a time with throwing knives if you're exceptionally gifted with your throwing knives. I would recommend trying to pull them one at a time. The spells and stuff, they will eventually walk towards you, regardless of whether or not they just cast spells at you. What you want to do is just wait for the spell to get close to you, play bullfighter with it. Eventually this lady will get close enough to us where we'll be able to hit her, or she'll start changing her attack pattern to include her mace, instead of just attacking us with her spells, and she's doing this just by casting over and over again. Remember, Dark Souls is a game of patience. We need to be patient in order to beat the game here. You also want to be careful not to let that attack hit you, and I think the cagemen are coming up the staircase. Yeah, they are. Cagemen are really, really slow, which is good for us, but bad in this situation, because they are coming. They're just coming very slowly. Ow. And you want to be careful not to try to fight them and the evangelist at the same time, because you do not want to try to fight more than one enemy at any time, ever, in any history of ever Dark Souls, ever. Unless you have to. There are some bosses that is not the case. But that's why the Abyss Watchers is a hard boss, because it is a boss that forces you to fight more than one enemy at a time. Did she drop anything? She did. Okay, we're going to have to go get that. Spiked Mace, not a very good weapon. It's a little too heavy. It's a little too cumbersome. I don't like heavy weapons like that. I know plenty of people that really enjoy using heavy weapon builds. Ultra Great Swords, Ultra Maces, stuff like that. I'm not on board. I really just don't like them. Just kind of annoying. But, you know, whatever. Come to me. Alright, cool. Kill this bitch. Remember, backstabbing is your best friend. It is the most damage you can do. If you are using a bladed weapon of any kind, backstabbing is the most damage you could possibly do with that weapon at any point. Upgrades or not, you will always do more damage with a critical strike than you will with a regular hit. That is just the name of the game. That sometimes changes with blunt weapons. Blunt weapons have pretty terrible critical strike ratings. On the whole, critical striking somebody is better than just hitting them, pretty universally. But in particular for bladed weapons, that is normally the case. I've had cases where like my strong attack does more than my critical strike with like my mace, depending on the type of enemy. Flynn's Ring is an interesting ring. So Flynn's Ring, what it does is that when you get down to 30% equipment load, Flynn's Ring causes you to do 5% bonus damage. Every time, or every percent of bonus damage under that, the damage from Flynn's Ring goes up. Okay? So what that means is that when you have like 15% bonus damage, you do 15% extra damage. Or when you're at 15 weight, you do 15% bonus damage, okay? So what you want to do here, you can kind of see that this is kind of a perilous fall, but there's those planks right there. What you want to do is run and roll, or I guess you can just fall. I died. God damn it. You want to roll. That was the idea. You want to roll or jump towards those planks. That's embarrassing. Down there in the bottom of that tower is the Clarity Ring, which is the item that we were going for. But I'm going to have to I'm going to go back and grab that off camera because I don't want to have to, you guys don't have to watch me go back through that entire area over again. No, you know what? Fuck it. We'll just do it, and we'll just end the episode after I get the Clarity Ring. That's what we'll do. Because this is my punishment for being a dipshit and dying like an idiot. I didn't hit the dodge roll button soon enough, so you can dodge roll off of ledges, and you'll stay in the air temporarily for a couple seconds. The safest thing to do is to sprint and jump, obviously, but you can just dodge roll if you're impatient like me. Dodge rolling obviously has its flaws, which is if you don't do it fast enough, you just fall off. If I had healed the fall, I probably would have survived that fall, truth be told. So that's on me. I made a mistake, and that's the kind of the name of the game in Dark Souls sometimes, you know? Sometimes you make mistakes. When did we get Undead Bone Ash? When did we get this? I don't remember getting this. Undead Bone Shards, you burn them at the Firelink Shrine bonfire in order to improve your Estus Flask slightly. Which is good, because you want to improve your Estus Flask, because your Estus Flask starts the game not terrible, but not great. We're just going to avoid Saw and Slag Man here. We're just going to run. this strategy, popularly coined by Northern Lion the Great, is called Lion Strats. You just run. Just run. I mean, so never feel ashamed of running away from fights. Okay, this is Dark Souls. This isn't fucking... This isn't like the streets. Like, nobody's gonna call your ass out for running away from a fight in Dark Souls. A, it's a good idea sometimes, but B, you have to just be aware that, like, sometimes fights aren't winnable, or sometimes they are more trouble than they are worth. And in those situations, the best thing to do is just to run. Like, we're gonna lion strat through this entire area coming up. I'm probably gonna only kill the dogs, because I think the dogs are fast enough to catch me while I'm sprinting. I think I got everything from here. There might be some more stuff. Let's poke around for a quick second, real quick. Because I know there's like a path behind this house. There's nothing there. I got the item over there. I got the Northerner set. I got the item over there. No, we got all the stuff over here. I think we did. If I missed something, let me know. If you know that I missed something, please let me know in the comments. I will come back to this area probably next episode. And display that I am not perfect. I'm not an encyclopedia. I'd like that to be noted. I'm very good at this game. I know where a lot of stuff is, and a lot of very good, important items. I know where a lot of them are, and I know how to get them, and I know how to play the game. You guys are, if you're here to, for a step-by-step guide to find all the items in the game, I am sorry. I'm not that good. However, if you are interested in seeing where, like, a pretty comprehensive guide of how to beat the game and learn a little bit and learn how to play the game, come to the right place. I will teach you to the best of my abilities. Now, I'm not perfect. I am not, like I said, I'm not the best at Dark Souls. I'm not a very good PvPer. I'm not very good at a couple of things that Dark Souls players will tell you are, like, really important to do for PvP. But I'm very good at killing bosses. I'm very good at finding items, and I'm very good at knowing where everything is in this game. So there you go. This is the Coloranthi ring, and the Mirror set. The Mirror set's very, 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 very good. Okay, it's got a very good armor to weight ratio. 7.0 to a 10.0 ratio is really, really solid. It's much better than our sellsword armor. Yeah, it's much better than our sellsword armor. So we're basically losing 3 points of weight in order to we're gaining 3 points of weight to lose 2 points of armor. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but this weighs 7, it gives us 10. This weighs 10, it gives us 12. From a ratio standpoint, I believe this item is better. The gloves are certainly better, I know that much. 2.1 to 1.1 is pretty good. It's just that's an up step, basically. They're much better than the Northerner set for certain. And then the boots are better than the sellsword boots pretty much across the board. They weigh less and give more armor. So it's a really good set. We're probably going to wear it. We don't have a new helmet, I don't think. We just still have... No, we just have like the set that we had. We could put on the Northern helmet, but I'm not gonna. The mirror set's pretty good. It's pretty lightweight, so you can still get a good dodge roll out of it, which is very helpful. It also just eats a lot more damage. Armor doesn't matter too much in Dark Souls. Most of the time you should focus on wearing stuff that you think makes you look cool rather than stuff that you think is like particularly functional. Most armor sets are not garbage, but they're just they aren't worth... It isn't worth the time for you to like sweat over like whether or not you should wear the armor set that does this or the armor set that does that. Unless you're doing PvP. If you're doing PvP, then look it up. There's a very best armor set for each set. Okay. If you want to wear heavy armor, I would recommend the Farum, Farum Lion set is pretty good. That set's pretty good because it's the lightest of the heavy armors. It provides pretty decent armor stuff. But the Elite Knight set is super good. I actually don't know where that one is, so we'll probably look that up and go find it, because the Elite Knight set is normally the best set in the game for weight to armor ratio. Because it weighs like nothing, and it gives you like it gives you the Knight armor, level armor, plus a little bit for like the same weight as the regular ass Knight armor, which is kind of nuts. Alright, this is going to be a little bit of a longer episode because we're going to go fight Iceman down in the basement of Sigvird's tower. We're just going to run past you. Nope, don't feel like fighting. I'm ignoring them literally because they're not worth the time. which I know sounds weird for me to say. Like, you're like, oh, but shouldn't you fight all the enemies to get the souls? Yeah, they're not worth the time. They take too long to fight, and they only give you, like, a smattering of souls. I think they give you, like, 200, 320, apparently, because that guy fell off the ledge. 320 souls, not worth the amount of effort that goes into fighting them. And we have to come down here and fight Boreal Valley Man, which will probably end up getting us killed. And if it does end up getting us killed, we will probably call it quits for this episode, and I will fight Boreal Valley Man on the next episode instead. But I'm also confident in our ability to fight this man. With no Estus, this might get a little rough, but I am confident in our ability to do this. Alright, let's do this. Ow. Boreal Valley Man, very fast, as you can see. He does not do tremendous damage, but what you want to do is you want to just avoid his attacks. You want to try to roll into him, wait for an opening, and then strike, and just keep doing it over and over again. Wait for him to do like a breath attack is pretty good. If you can hit him pretty hard, he does get staggered. He's not like Vort, where if you're not careful, you will not get staggered, or he won't get staggered and he'll kick your ass. Just keep it cool. Keep it cool. Oh. Wait for him to do a breath attack or something, and then hit him. The mirror set, very good against this guy because it does give you pretty decent physical armor, but we died. The stamina, the frostbite is what killed me there because my stamina wouldn't recover quick enough, and I didn't equip the Clarity Ring, which would have actually compensated for that. But unfortunately, that's going to do it for this episode. We will tackle Boreal Valley Man on the next episode, and here you can see the Clarity Ring. Raise the stamina recovery speed. We'll equip that. I would equip Flynn's Ring, but it doesn't do anything right now because we're at 45%. The Blood Bite Ring doesn't do anything, and I'm not using any... Oh, I guess we'll equip the Fire Clutch Ring. Fire Clutch Ring only decreases your damage absorption to fire, if I'm not mistaken. No, it hurts you entirely. Ugh. Oh, that makes it not worth it at all. Yeah, we went from 19 to 11. Yeah, not worth it at all. And it only increases our damage at 11 or so. Yeah, not worth it. Don't wear the Fire Clutch Ring unless you're going to use Pyromancy. Pyromancers don't get hit very often, and having increased fire damage on your fire weapon in that situation is pretty good because that's all you're doing. But enough of that. That's going to do it for this episode. So thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, let me know. If you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date on when I post more videos. And if you really like what you saw, leave a like. It helps the channel grow. It helps me out a great deal. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I'll be sure to answer any that you guys have. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. I got this. Bye ya!